of it's kind of dark, but not all of it. My first poem is the first poem I ever submitted for publication, and it was accepted. This was by the American Anthology of Poetry back in 1982. This poem is called Death. Cloaked and hooded figure, dark and hollow eyes, come and take me from this place. I'm bound with earthly ties. Let me hold your bloodless hand, guide me down the road. Take me from this vale of tears, free me from this load. My spirit cries for freedom. I'm lorn and need relief. I need to lay the burdens down. My heart is ill with grief. Take me down your path this day. Lead me far from here. Life has cast me to the ground. My days are filled with fear. Thank you. This poem, my wife and I wrote together one time on a country drive. We were just out running around, decided to see if we could do it together. I'd write a couple of lines, she'd write a couple of lines. We took it home, and this is a poem to encourage people who are trying to make positive changes in their life. And it's called, I Need to Not. Thank you for your contribution, Clara. I need to not deny myself the things that make me whole. I need to learn to let myself love things that help me grow. So very many wasted years I did not know my way, hemmed in, held down by my fears. Also, I chose to stay. I need to not forget the past and the lessons that it holds. I need to not repeat mistakes now that I broke the mold. These days I've learned I'm growing into someone I can love, and the simple fact of knowing will help me rise above. I need to not restrict my growth, but simply take control and choose the way my life goes on. It's up to me, I know. We're going to venture into the R-rated a little bit here. This poem, actually, I sent this, I entered a contest given by Writer's Digest magazine annually. They said they had 18,000 entries, and I got an honorable mention for this poem, so I'm real happy that they did that. This is called Stripper. And yeah, it really happened. I was there. I wrote about it. Anyway, Stripper. Dance beneath the lights tonight. Turn and whirl and spin. See the heat in shining eyes, the lust that lives in men. Sweat that gleams upon your breast brings sweat upon my brow. Sitting here just drinking beer, girl, I want you now. Clothing falls, your beauty shines, your movements stir my blood. I'd give a lot to be your man, as any watcher would. But look at me, I'm different. I'm not like other boys, old enough to know your worth and young enough for joys. Now sitting here among the rest, I know that you can't tell how much I long to hold you close. Perhaps it's just as well. So dance again, sweet woman, but give one glance to me. I feel a need for what's not mine and what can never be. Thank you very much. On a lighter note, some of us are morning people, some of us aren't. I really never was one. This kind of expresses that. This is called Morning. Arise, arise, the day is new. The birds sing out so sweet. The sun is shining across the land, and you just want to sleep. Awake, awake, the new day calls. Lift up your groggy head. 1,000 moments cry your name, yet you just lie in bed. All right, I hear your words. Go away, I just don't care. You hide beneath your coverlet. You mutter, moan, and swear. Indeed, indeed, you may be right. In fact, I think it's true. Mornings suit me best at noon. I'm climbing in with you. This poem is my very first anti-war poem. I'm a Vietnam veteran. There's another one that was here somewhere. And this one is my first attempt to say things that I wanted people to understand. This is called The Champion. Fading dark with break of day reveals the battleground. Morning sun steals softly o'er the carnage littered round. The dead and dying both are stilled by the moment of new light. A lonely figure stands forlorn and burdened with the sight. His bloodied hands are restless, his haunted eyes cast down. The breaking day will break his heart if he simply looks around. He's champion of his world this day, alone, unscathed, the last. Now he needs to find the strength to free himself of that. The killing of his enemies has slain a part of him. Now he needs to find a way to heal himself again. His steps are slow, they falter. He wanders slowly through the carrion birds and beasts of death beneath the sky of blue. I am a barber, professional barber by trade. And one of the things that make me happiest is that I cut the current poet laureate's hair. And Bob, Bill, I'm sorry, Bill. And Bill said to me, time it out. So I tried. I hope I'm not going to run over time or embarrass myself, but anyway. While I was working 11 years in Knob Noster as a barber, we had a summer rainstorm, and sitting there between haircuts, I looked out the window and I saw one raindrop hanging from the edge of the roof. And this is that poem. This is called Raindrop Magic. A raindrop caught at the edge of a roof captured my mind for a while. Sparkling, dancing, pure in the light, beauty that made my heart smile. Throwing off colors brighter than bright, insisting that I must remain under the spell of this magical gem brought to my view by the rain. Life's cares and worries melted away, dissolved in the moment so sweet, a minuscule miracle, gift to the day, soon to be gone in the heat. Somehow I knew in the moment of thrall, whatever our troubles and woe, God's in his heaven, and here on the street, I have the proof that it's so. I'll dedicate this one to you. This is my first attempt at a cowboy poem. And it gives me a great deal of pleasure to have known that my granddaughter, when she was in grade school, was tasked in a class to find a poem, memorize it, and memorize it and speak it to the class. This is the poem that my granddaughter chose to speak to her class in South Dakota. This is called Trail Camp. A lonely night fire, small and dim, an aging outlaw man. A hand-rolled smoke between his lips, tin coffee cup in hand. A weathered face, sun-etched with lines, a sweat-stained hat pulled low. A well-kept rifle close at hand, an off-Jew's .44. The day was long, he's tired and worn. The ground feels hard and cold. He wonders where it all will end. He knows he's getting old. In times gone by, his glory days, he stepped so high and wide. The wildest of the crazy ones rode proudly at his side. The law and bullets brought some down. The years just took the rest. But somehow he continued on to the far side of his best. Now what remains is running out, with nothing left to do. There's no place left to hide away, no time to start anew. If youth could know what old eyes see, mistakes would not be made. But what is done won't be undone. Truth cuts him like a blade. He pushes back these useless thoughts. No gain to cry or moan. A saddle blanket makes his bed. Tomorrow he moves on. The fire burns low. Wind comes up. A lonely coyote cries. The full moon slips behind a cloud. An aging outlaw dies. All my life it seems I've lived where late at night I could hear a train, usually way off in the distance, and it always filled me with a nostalgia, a longing, a feeling I really had a hard time defining. This is that poem. This is called The Sound of Trains. The sound of trains late at night fills me with unease, pulls at me, calls me out to leave this place, just flee. A mournful sound in the dark, knifing through the night, following a road of steel behind a shining light. Heading out to somewhere else, rolling down the line, I feel a longing, deep and strong, a calling in my mind. That long, lonesome, drawn-out wail, the tick of wheels on steel, make me doubt what I've become and wonder what I feel. The sound of trains late at night calls out to the soul, weeps for all that's left behind, yet still it goes and goes. One of my favorite musicians is a man named Tom Waits. Some of you may have heard of him. He had a song out called The House Where Nobody Lives, which inspired me to write this poem, which is called Old House Dreams. A gray Sunday in autumn, cold mist drifting down, out walking, just walking through this damp and dank town. Past a tired old house that's abandoned and cold, I wonder at the lives that at one time did hold. All the windows are broken, the front door is gone. Did the dreams here die slowly, like the grass on the lawn? And the porch roof is sagging, rain-warped boards are the floor. Rusty chains from a porch swing that swings there no more. In the yard is a playset where children once played. There's a forlorn old doghouse where their pet must have stayed. Did they leave here for better? Did they leave here for less? Now does no one remember the worst and the best? I suppose it's no matter, because its time is now gone. But I'm touched by a sadness as I slowly move on. This is the second poem concerning war that I brought. It was published by the International Library of Poetry in 2008. This is called Returning Home. The hero returning back from the war, returning to kith and to kin. back to the bosom of family at last, but somehow you do not fit in. Their joy seems so cloying, pulling at you. Their welcome seems hollow and trite. Somewhere inside you, surrounded by fear, your need to return to the fight. Or maybe to prayer, maybe to drink, whatever will cleanse your soiled soul, bring you forgetfulness, a moment's respite from the memories of horrors you know. They cannot know the things seen and done, here where they're safe in their day. You feel the separateness holding you back, and ever it will be this way. They are the reason you did as required, to spare them the horror and strife. Now they all wonder at what you've become, how it stained you and changed you for life. On a happier note for two reasons. This is the last poem I brought, and it's one I kind of just recently did. It's called Down by the Creek. There's a barefoot young boy in faded blue jeans and a t-shirt that's worn and threadbare. Cane pole on his shoulder, heading down to the creek to do him some catfishing there. Got a can full of worms he dug from the ground. Got high hopes that his luck will be good, 'cause supper tonight is depending on him, or at least he believes that it could. Not a care in the world on a bright summer's day. He is whistling a happy old tune, unaware of tomorrows that wait in the wings, and the truth he will grow up too soon. For his moment is now, no future, no past, just him and the sun and the day. Good luck, little man, how you make my heart lift, and I wish you Godspeed on your way. In your innocent youth I can see my own self in those days that I've got behind me. Would that I could return to those times and join you down there by the creek. Thank you very much.